Okay, everybody, welcome back to Legacy Percussion with Jerry Leak. Still working on some African adaptations to the drum set, and I want to talk about a style that I have not talked about before in any of the previous videos, and it's a world that I'm actually getting more inside of myself from a traditional context. So I'm a far cry from really going as deep as I'd like to. In this music from central Ghana, the region is the Ashanti region, and the music is known as Kete. And it's really incredible how deep and vast these traditions are. Please check out some of the links to some of the traditional performances and know that this is very inspiring music. And what I want to talk about is a groove that I arranged that's based on a fragment of something that I heard during a performance at Tufts University with the great Professor Attah Poku and also David Locke as their annual performances. And I happened to notice Attah playing a talking drum in what seemed improvisational, but every now and then he would strike a pattern that repeated periodically, and it was very fascinating to me. And it's basically had two pitches: din dan, din dan, din dan, din dan, dan, din din dan, and then it would pause for other improvisations, and it would come back to that din dan, din dan, din dan, din dan, dan, din din dan. And I started to ask questions about it, and you're welcome to read some of the descriptions about what this phrase is and some of the others we're going to look at. But I do want to show you how this pattern works on the drum set, how I've arranged it. I'm going to use the snare and the toms and also the floor. So here's the pattern put to the drums. That's basically it. And then it fulfills 2 bars of a 12/8 groove, and what I did is added a couple other elements to fill it up and then created a 4-bar pattern. So here's that again without anything else. I know it seems rather abstract, but what I am going to do is now just add a cymbal in a slow 3-cross rhythm, basically playing taka-dimi, taka-dimi, taka-dimi. Kind of feels like it's in a big 3, but it's still in the 12/8, as you'll see when I bring in the feet. So here's a combination of that with the drums. That's, in a nutshell, the hands. Then I decided to take something with the feet and bring in the hi-hat, basically adapting the toto G rhythm to the pedal, the bass drum, and the hi-hat. Toto G, normally on bass drum, might be G, toto, G, as I've done for other videos. But now I'm going to go. So G, toto, G. Now with the cymbal, we would have this. Let's get inside that a bit. Now let me bring in the groove. Now when I set up the groove, I'm going to kind of keep it for a little while because it's so sweet. Here we go. I could just go on that all day long, and what happens to me as I'm feeling it At times where I feel like I'm floating on a cloud and it's very smooth and relaxed, and other times where it feels like I'm on the edge of a cliff, because there's not a lot of virtuosity in the individual patterns, but the coolness is how they all come together and form this really interesting matrix of groove and sound and independence. So this is the first example of some Kete styles that I wanted to share with you. I'm thinking about working on other cymbal patterns, but it's actually quite daunting for me to get into that. So I'm on that path just like you guys are, and knowing that there's more to do and you're never going to finish the journey. So that is one of the styles of Kete that I want to share with you. Come back in a second and we're going to look at something that explores cross rhythms for the bass drum. So see you in a second. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Okay, we're going to continue this study on some of the Kete styles from the Ashanti region of central Ghana. And again, I was in a performance and observing a couple of patterns that were taking place that seemed like really cool combinations and possibilities. Observing these patterns and finding unique ways to express them, but always paying homage to the tradition and my teachers, Professor Attah Poku, David Locke, and also Ben Paulding, who's part of the, that world of Kete drumming, which is bigger than I can even express. But basically, I was hearing a cymbal pattern that is going to be playing this. So to complete one phrase, I need two of those. So first half, second half. The pattern on the drumming is what sets up the larger phrase. So let's check that out, and then we'll talk about meter and other things. So here we go. Very straightforward, but at the same time, really interesting and something that you may not have ever heard before in that particular combination. That's what these world music traditions do. They inspire so much new, fresh material. And for me, once I discovered this little basic assembly on the drums and the cymbals, I didn't want to change the pattern at all. So I decided to just treat this as a variations for bass drum approach. So it's a cross rhythm study for bass drums. Now, I will tell you that if you're a member of the Percussive Art Society organization and receive their monthly magazine, or every 3 months, I believe, the Percussive Notes magazine. I'm a regular writer for this magazine. I've published, I think, 25 or so articles for PAS. And the most recent issue, the March issue of 2018, they presented my study on cross rhythms for bass drum. And it's this particular rhythm with all the cross rhythms that I videoed and recorded and that are part of that series. So feel free to join the organization. It's a blessing. And also explore all the possibilities, because in this shorter video, I'm going to give you some of the possibilities. So I'm going to pull out a bit of a teaser for you to think about joining PAS, and just for all the information from all the writers and contributors. So the bass drum is going to go through a 2 cross rhythm with 12 different rotations. I'm going to give you 4 of them just as a demonstration. Then it explores the 3 cross rhythm, which also has many, many rotations, up to 4 for that. 4 cross rhythm, which can also rotate, 6 cross rhythm, and also an 8 cross rhythm. Now, interestingly, the 8 cross rhythm has 3 different positions. But once I get past the 2 cross rhythm, I only want to give you the first position to show you how the fundamentals are also really, really essential to learn those first. So with the 2, the bass drum in the 2, it's just going to be so. Now the second position is going to put the bass drum in between the cymbal hits. Or next. That's just 4 of what is a total of 12 different positions if you rotate by the eighth note. So it's an interesting study on shifting the basement, creating different energy. Now a 3-cross rhythm on the bass drum would be this. 1, 2, here we go. Now the 4 would give you this. Very logical. 4 of them, here we go. Here we go. All right. I started to go into the rotations, but here is the 4 again. Once again. The 6 would kind of align with the cymbal pretty nicely. With the cymbal you have now the 8, and again, I'm putting this in actually into 4 bars of 6/8. So the bass drum actually now is exploring dotted quarter notes for each of the 6/8 bars. And yes, I'm still working on some of these, but let me give you now 2 to 3 to 4 to 6 to 8. See how all that comes together. Here we go. 2 bars. Now 3. Okay, I felt a little stronger there at the end, and this is one take, Jerry, to give you these files the best I can, but a couple of possibilities using the music of Kete and staying on a path and knowing there's always the work to do. So these are the 2 Kete styles for today. There's so many others. Check out the videos of Royal Hartigan and Ben Paulding for some really mind-bending explorations of master drum played on the drum set. I'm all about trying to set up some grooves and think about possibilities. Okay, we're going to move on from here. Thanks a lot. We'll see you very soon for the next video. Bye-bye.